Okay boys, so we are in the Kona N 2022. We're taking it for a brap. Obviously it's the DCT. Oh, you get the DSG farts. Oh dude, you get the DSG farts right away. I brought my Insta360, so I'm gonna do some POV driving, but we are indeed in the Kona N right now. I just have it in normal drive, no paddles yet, still sussing the thing out, but. All right guys, so this is the upgraded turbo that the Elantras and the Kona Ns come standard with. It's the one that the Veloster N doesn't have, and it's a common upgrade for the Veloster, and you can hear the turbo sounds way more like. And the burbles are insane. Put it back into normal drive. The burbles are crazy. You get the DSG farts, they're very prominent, they are there. It's like, you know, you get the DSG farts, you really can't complain with that. I'm really pumped for this car, honestly. It's a little bit weird driving an N that's not a standard, coming only driving Ns that are standard. But the thing just goes. The DCT is like genuinely too easy. It's too easy, like it just goes, it shifts so fast. It's crazy guys, honestly. Like I'm enjoying my time in here. I'm 6'8", so I have tons more headroom. I feel a lot comfier. The one thing I don't like as much is that the Veloster Ns are 3 doors, so I don't have a passenger door on the right, and it makes for a very long front door. And now I'm not used to the regular size front door with this big pillar here, because it's right in my face whenever I look that way. But that's just a simple thing that I just have to get used to. That is not a make or break deal on the car at all. I'm gonna jump out here, take some outside clips, and then see what's up. So here is the interior of the N, the Kona N. So obviously we got that full digital dash there. We've got a lot more features on the steering wheel. We now have 2 programmable N buttons instead of N and N custom. We also have N grin shifts, which gives you more power. It has the lane keep assist, so it basically drives for you. It's got heads up display, hill descent. It's really got everything. The paddles aren't just like a snippet here and a snippet here. They're the full length paddles. You got the bigger upgraded screen here with the new N infotainment. Check that out, super nice, responsive touchscreen. I have no issues with it so far. You got the digital climate control this time around. I don't know why AC's on, we're gonna have to turn that off. You got the nice DCT N shifter, obviously with all your selections, and then pop it over to paddles. You got heated seats in the front. You got heated steering wheel, you got parking sensors, you got all these drive modes here. So it's drive and traction. So if you twist it, it circles through what's highlighted, and if you click it, it switches through what's highlighted. So if we go back to drive here, you can see we have eco, normal, and sport. And then if I click it and it goes to traction, we got sand, mud, deep snow, and snow, which is really crazy actually. And then we have the programmable N buttons right there. And there's that full crazy N mode, which obviously you can configure. I definitely fit in it a lot better. There's a lot more space. It's got the nice little Mercedes vents there and whatnot. It's honestly a joy to be in this thing. It's got the same seats as the N, but they're Alcantara and leather instead of just cloth, and a lot more leather than Alcantara too. I give a lot more headspace from the headliner. It's got the exact same cluster that the Veloster N has as far as right here goes. Super sick car. Let's jump out and take a peek from outside. All right, so here she is in the performance blue. I do like the Kona N's wheels. These are not factory tires at all, and they are not sticky at all. So, but let's take a peek around this thing. Check out that front clip. Nice and mean looking. Nice and mean looking. Still got the side skirts that look like they're missing an N badge. And whoever owned this blacked out the emblems, not the greatest, quite orange peely, and then took off the Kona and the N. This thing does have 32,000 on it. We're basically just looking at this one as a test drive. I've never seen the Performance Blue in person either, so that's really nice. I also don't know why these tires are nitrogen filled. That's a scam. You got a huge wing for like an SUV CUV, and I love the divot in the back and the fact that they retain the third triangle brake light. As you can see, all the lights on the Kona are very skinny, and then they're followed up by blockier ones below it. That transfers over to the front as well. Tons more space than the Veloster. People say it's relative in space to the Veloster, but I promise you at 6'8", there is more space in this than the Veloster. It already comes with tinted rear 3, blacked out, super dark. I don't know if it's 5% or what, but the Veloster did not have that. Got the netting in the back of the seats for your rear passengers. I'm 6'8", and with the seat this far back, I sit in here comfortably. My head does not hit the headliner. You got the all-weather mats. Nice little leather cup holder there. Still with that Alcantara backrest and butt seat with the leather around. It does too have the Harman Kardon audio system, and these things bump. You also do have the privacy screen there that is removable, and you can fold those back seats right down. Trunk space is relative to the Veloster N, but it's not a deep bucket. It's nice and flat, so it's easier to put stuff in and take it out. You obviously still got your sub back there, and yeah, that is about it for the interior and exterior on the biggest N available, the big beast, the Kona N. I'm gonna throw the hat mount on and do some POV drives now. Okay boys, we are here in the Kona N. We're on paddle shifters. You do get the DSG burbs, which I love, but here it is. You got the N and another N, 2 programmable N buttons. You also have the N grin shift, full paddles, lane keep assist, all of your other functions. You have the voice commands, big screen here. We are a little bit low on fuel, so we're not gonna be able to do too much, but we are gonna take it for a nice little rip here. So this thing is fun. Man, it just stays in the power band with that DCT. It just keeps that turbo spooling. It never cuts out. That is a crazy, crazy feeling. Like I said, we're low on fuel and I don't own this thing. I am liable for everything that happens to it, so I'm not gonna do launch control or none of that. But this thing feels like it still rips pretty good. Would you say so too?
Absolutely.
Listen to this. I wonder if you guys can hear the DSG farts on the shifts. It's faint and it would be pretty hard for a camera to pick up, but you do get the DSG farts here in the Kona N, and I assume you would in any DCT N. But just like slapping the paddles together, I love it. I really, really do love it. We're gonna go back out this way here. I mean, it just goes like snot. For like a little CUV, SUV, the thing just boom, 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 never out of the power band. I'm falling in love with the DC more and more every last single time that I drive it. It is a good bit of fun, and I mean that like properly, man. Obviously, I've never owned a car with paddle shifters that's an actual DCT setup. They've always been like CVTs that are trying to mimic DCTs, and it's just a slow, shitty recipe for disaster. Believe it or not too, the Kona N weighs roughly around the same weight as the Veloster N, coming in at 3,300 pounds, which is where the Veloster N is. Can you believe that this big CUV-SUV weighs as much as the little hatchback Veloster N? And that translates over into the driving experience. It does not feel like you're driving around a boat whatsoever. Yeah, so right here, this is a terrible road, and this is why I went on it. It is incredibly stiff still. Granted, this is in full N mode, but in full N mode with the suspension turned all the way down. I mean, it just really keeps pulling, guys. It really does just keep pulling. The paddle shifters are fantastic. They shift on a dime, and you really, can't complain with it. I mean, I like this thing quite a bit. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Would this be a worthy upgrade to transfer from my Veloster N to this? Practicality wise, I think yes, but I'd like to know what you guys watching this think, because the Kona N, really, I love it, man. I really do love it. So let me know your thoughts. I didn't think that I would love this car as much in person as I actually do. Looking at it online, I'm like humming and hawing. I'm like, I'm not sure I like the body style. I'm not sure I like this, but it's a cool concept. It's a cool car. No, I seen it in person and I was like, okay, it's not so bad. It looks nice. And now I'm in it and driving it, and it's changed the ball game, man. Like, oh my God, this thing fucks. It really, really does. If we just simply put it back into a normal drive mode, suddenly it just feels like your normal, standard, everyday driver. When you put the Veloster N in normal mode, so the suspension shouldn't be stiff, or even eco, it's still stiff as a rock. When you put the car into normal or drive or eco or any of the normal modes, eco or normal, the suspension gets very soft and plush. And I can appreciate that quite a bit. Now it just feels like I'm driving your standard everyday Kona. It's nice and soft, the pedal's not super punchy, the transmission isn't aggressively bouncing everywhere, shifting from here, there, and everywhere. It's just nice, plush, and subtle, and then as soon as you hit the N mode button, it opens right back up. The transmission gets more aggressive, the engine gets more aggressive, it's holding the revs out longer. It just kicks you. And it's like almost in drive with it in N mode, it's too much because it holds the revs so up there. Get a couple cornering action in this. This thing is nimble, it is stiff, it feels extraordinary. I mean, I was not expecting this performance out of this car. I'm like, I know it's still an N, and I know this and I know that, but when you get behind the wheel of this, it changes your whole perspective about it. I promise that, and I want you guys to let me know what you think in the comments below. So guys, we're in eco mode right now and we are off-road, and this thing just feels like a truck or like just your standard Kona. Like, there's really no roughness to it at all. Okay, so right now I have the car in eco mode, which in theory should be the softest suspension. And as you can see, we're on full dirt and it is not stiff, it is not jittery at all. Like, if I were to do this in my Veloster N, even in normal or eco, it would still be stiff as a rock. This in normal and eco, you don't even notice you're driving over dirt. Like, you don't even notice it at all. Like, the transition there, it's a little bit rough, but it just feels like any other car around in like just your normal car. It's not overly stiff, it's not overly anything, and I love the fact that I can escape the stiffness in this, because in the Veloster N you cannot escape the stiffness no matter what you're in. And it's terrible in the winter, it's terrible off-road, it's a fantastic car, but this car has all that and then so much more. Yes, it doesn't look as good as a Veloster N, but for everything else you're getting with still that power, fun, and excitement, in my eyes, you can't go wrong. Kona N experience right now. Amazing. Unbelievable. We're on this gorgeous back road, just keeping it tame. You loving this thing?
Love it.
Yeah, she loves it.
Love it.
You mean you get everything that the Veloster had and then just so much more. The only thing it's lacking in is the exterior look, but for everything you're gaining, I really have enjoyed my time in this Kona N. I kid you guys not. This thing is an exceptional car. Feels like it has just as much power as the Veloster N, which it does, and then some with N-Gren shift. And me as a 6'8" human being, like I said, I have that headroom, I have the ability to move around. I don't feel so cooped up like I'm in a little tiny smart car or something, you know? I am loving my experience of the Kona N. It's such a controversial car. I love it. What is your thoughts and opinions on this? Because you also have owned the Veloster for coming up on 3 years now, and here we are in the Kona N. What do you think?
First difference that I noticed for sure is that it stays in the power band. that is the biggest thing ever.
That
like
DCT is lightning fast.
Yeah, I'm not trying to poop on your shifting there. You're amazing, amazing, amazing. But having this DCT, it actually stays in the power band. Like the brakes are huge. You can literally, your passenger feels it if you even touch them like an instant. It's just amazing on all around car. Like even just for me, for just interior kind of like nice stuff. I'm such a small person, and being in the Vel, like I can barely see over the dash in itself, even though it is like a shorter car for sure. I can barely see over the dash. So like for me driving that thing, I'm worried about like everything, curbing, wheels, hitting a freaking cat or something. Like I can't see it, right? So being a smaller person, this car is amazing for that. And even for him,
and for a bigger person. This car is better for bigger people and better for smaller people.
If you're a car couple, this is definitely the come up car couple car. If you switch drivers pretty often, you get the his and her and shift mode. Like it's awesome. It's everything we could have asked for and more, honestly. And even though it isn't ours, I'm about to just slap my card on the table and be like, hey buddy.
We'll see about that, boys. You have so much more space for shoulder checking as well. And grin shift, fuck it. You definitely feel that extra spunk in the step with N-Grin. Those burbles, if you hold it up there.
That's what I was doing. That's why I was braking, because every time you let off on the gas there, it's
Yep, big time. And then you can just normally drive it. Right, you're going back into residential, you just slap it back over, put it in normal or eco, and you're driving. Right now I still got it in the paddles. I'm pretty, yeah, this thing's got 8 gears, and it is so incredibly stiff in N mode. I wonder if this will change it up. Oh yeah, so this is the custom N mode, and then this is full N mode, I guess. I'm not sure if you can program both of them, but I mean, you really only need one program. Everything maxed out except for steering and suspension. Getting a really good feel for this thing today, boys. Even just like on your casual highway driving. This thing feels awesome. And then all you do is just slap it back over, put it in normal, and now you're in a completely standard new car. It's soft, it's quiet, it's easy.
Can you try the automatic driving feature it has?
Automatic driving. It's literally driving for me right now. I honestly, for me, I hate this. I absolutely despise a car that would drive for you. I'm a driver, I love driving. I was a little bit worried about these lines here being dotted. It keeps it straight. I literally have not touched the steering wheel, but it does veer in the lane to either side when you get on the corners. This car is exceptional. Comment, like, subscribe, peace.